I absolutely love collecting mini racers. I've been buying them since late 2017, and in that time I've gotten nearly every mini racer ever made, save for a couple dozen that I haven't been able to find because my stores don't sell the bags and boxes. 2025 is really the first time I've ever been genuinely disappointed by the mini racer offerings, though. While I think the past few years have been giving us less and less new mini racers, 2025 has given us the least amount of new releases ever. All the releases this year that are new are themed to the Race and Rescue line, and while I don't really have a problem with that, that is what the 155 scale line is doing as well. Their offerings are pretty limited, just releasing a small handful of the massive amount of 18 cars that Mattel is doing in the main line. There are very, very few Race and Rescue minis out there, and there are only new releases this year. Not only are there very few of them, they're really, in my opinion, not up to snuff with the typical mini racer standard. Last year, we got a full set of GRC racers. We got all 9, featuring several brand new molds, several 3-packs with 3 new releases in each, and even some bonus items that hadn't even been made in the 155 scale line, with a GRC Mater and metallic GRC McQueen. In addition to that, we also got some new movie mini racers as well, with Jocko, Flacco, Mac, and Wingo. This year, we've gotten, I want to say, less than 10 Race and Rescue minis, and most of them don't even use new molds, while the 155 scale ones do. It's pretty disappointing, and I'll talk more about it when I review the other Race and Rescue pack in a few days, but these decisions make me kind of concerned for the future of the Mini Racers line. This, as well as the fact that 2026 Mini Racers packaging has rebranded the line to just be called Mini, yes, that's really happening, weird, right? Makes me concerned that this line that I really love might very well be on its last legs. But hey, if that is the case, let's celebrate the minis while we still have them. And if this is the end for the minis, or the end is coming soon, let's take a look at these and celebrate what we have. At the very least, we know they're continuing into 2026. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review and to another Mini Racers review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one of the new Race and Rescue 3-packs. This is officially labeled as Race and Rescue 3-pack number 2. Pack number 1 features Sally, Luigi, and Mater, but since this pack included McQueen and Chick and Sheriff, I decided to take a look at it first, despite the fact that the code online listings officially label it as number 2. Up here, we've got that absolutely adorable new Mini Racers packaging for 2025 with all the different characters, including my favorite, the little Pizza Planet truck cameo in the back. I absolutely love that. Down here, we can see the packaging has been altered slightly from your typical 3-pack to match the Race and Rescue branding, with a Race and Rescue logo there, as well as a yellow highlight around the new items, or actually around all the items, instead of the typical blue highlight. I believe it also has sort of a different kind of gradient on the bottom to sort of match the Race and Rescue gradient. This pack includes 2 new releases with Race and Rescue McQueen and Race and Rescue Sheriff. I'm not sure which of these are in the boxes, if any. Definitely let me know in the comments. I haven't been focusing on them. Another unfortunate sign for the Mini Racers line is that I think we've gotten 1 less box series than usual this year. Easily the most unfortunate factor of this 3-pack. While these 2 are new, and they both do look pretty good, unfortunately, the 3rd item is just a regular old Chick Hicks. And while we're used to the Mini Racers not typically giving you, 3 new items in 3-packs, this would make sense if it were a movie release, right? Unfortunately, as we all know, Chick Hicks has his own brand new design for the Race and Rescue line, and they didn't do it here. This is really starting to feel like the Mini Racers had a significantly smaller budget for this year, doesn't it? Right? Less new molds, less new items. I don't know, guys. It's super weird to see that when they did Race and Rescue, they only did the rescue cars and unfortunately didn't do any of the race cars. It would have been really nice to do, and honestly, I don't think they would even need to create any new molds, right? Right, who's in... The racers are Cal, Jeff Gorvette, Danny Swervez, Jackson Cruz, and Chick. They easily could have made them. They all have pre-existing molds. Unfortunately, they didn't. This is all screaming minis were given a lower budget this year, unfortunately. On the back of the package, we have this gradient here. Very interesting. Got Chick, McQueen, and Sheriff. And I know I've been complaining a lot. I'm just pretty upset regarding this. I love the minis, and it's sad to see this happening. Hopefully, next year is better for them. I don't know. I've just felt like the minis are probably going to be on the way out for a while, so I don't know. I guess when I see evidence of that, it is a bit disappointing. We're going to start by taking a look at Chick, since, again, unfortunately, he is just a regular Chick Hicks. If this weren't an expanded universe-based 3-pack, I wouldn't be complaining. It's just sad to see when, last year they made sure to give all the GRCs GRC variants. You didn't have a single GRC pack where they randomly threw in a World Grand Prix variant. This time around, we do have a regular Chick Hicks. Really not much to say about him. Would have loved to see Race and Rescue Chick instead, but, it is what it is. Now, let's move on to the other 2 items in the pack, because they do look pretty great. I know I've been saying that the new releases this year have their problems, but the ones we do have, they are pretty solid. Starting off with Race and Rescue McQueen here, I want to start off by saying I absolutely love this expression. This is so good, I think. It's been pretty hit or miss, in my opinion, with the Race and Rescue McQueen expressions. I'm really not the biggest fan of the one they gave the normal diecast, but man, when the minis change up McQueen's expressions, not only are they absolutely adorable, they're also just really, really terrific, and I really love this. I believe he even has a new mouth, right? Actually, no, he doesn't have a new mouth, sorry. He shares a mouth with another McQueen, I believe, but still, it works really well for this. Speaking of him sharing a mouth with another McQueen, despite the fact that Mattel's 155 scale Race and Rescue McQueen used a brand new mold, the mini here is simply reusing the mold of Deputy Hazard from Cars on the Road. This is something I expected them to do for the 155 scale line. I fully expected them to just reuse Deputy Hazard, and they didn't. They made a brand new light bar for McQueen. Unfortunately, the minis didn't do the same and just fully reused Deputy Hazard. As I've been saying, really not doing new molds this year. Very few new molds. Mater has a new mold. Morgan Martins has a new mold. Unfortunately, most of them don't, even when the 155 scale ones do. As you can see, those are, unfortunately, those are the same light bar. It seems real shame, but hey, honestly, gives more points to the Mattel line for going out of their way to make sure that each car was different. Sad to see the minis are not up to quality with the 155 scale line this year, because typically they are. It hurts me to say this, and I know it's something silly and small like the light bar. I definitely have a bigger issue with Sally, who's missing that tray that goes on top of her, and Luigi, who's missing his flag. This is easily the least bad of those. I mean, the worst one is Kathy Copter, who's reusing a mold from the Dynaco helicopter. It's sad. It's sad to see. Again, looks like they clearly had a pretty low budget this year. But hey, I mean, the light bars are so slightly different. I really don't mind. Again, it's more so a point towards the 155 scale one for having a deliberately different light bar. I really don't mind this one not having it. I just did want to point it out since it's supporting what I was saying earlier. We've got his headlights there, the yellow lightning bolt stickers, Radiator Springs Race and Rescue logo there. Again, he is a pretty great looking item. The light bar looks perfectly fine on him. Rescue logo there, Race and Rescue logo on the side, 95 there. Red tire on the front and yellow in the back. Race and Rescue logo there as well. And there's the back, and there's the other side. Honestly, this comes together to make a really solid looking Mini Racers McQueen. While, of course, there is that annoying little issue of the light bar being reused from a pre-existing McQueen, I think this is really a great looking item, and it honestly might go down as one of my favorite Mini Racer McQueens just in general. It adapts the paint job from the regular diecast really well. It also has one of my favorite facial expressions I think they've ever given a McQueen Mini Racer. It really reminds me of a lot of the Cars on the Road minis, which all looked so great and so accurate and had such fantastic expressions. This one looks pretty solid. I'm a pretty big fan of how it turned out, despite, unfortunately, not having a new mold. Moving on to Sheriff. Sheriff actually doesn't need a new mold. Sheriff's Race and Rescue item is simply a repaint of pre-existing Sheriff, so his mini here is looking just fine. I, unfortunately, haven't gotten my hands on the regular Race and Rescue Sheriff yet, who's exclusive to a 2-pack with Adam Rodriguez. I did actually find the color changer of him just a few hours ago at a Target earlier today, but I don't have the diecast just yet. This is my first time taking a look at a Race and Rescue Sheriff and looking at one in depth. The really cool thing about this is that this is only the 3rd ever variant of Sheriff in the Mini Racers line. There was only one Mini Racer Sheriff ever until last year when a new version of him came out in that year's Advent calendar. By the way, this year there is no Minis Advent calendar, another Minis thing not happening this year. But anyway, this is only the third Sheriff variant ever, so it's super, super cool to get a new one. And of course, in a line all about rescue vehicles, Sheriff should be taking prominence. I'm so happy to see that Sheriff was one of the ones they made sure they made in the Race and Rescue Mini Racers line, because he is a very necessary item. We've got the logo there on the hood. A bit hard to see. That yellow on black is going to be a bit tough. Unfortunately, it looks like mine has a bit of a chip in the mouth, but that's just the luck of the draw, I guess. He does have an exclusive expression, I believe, ever so slightly different from his regular release. On the side, we've got the Sheriff logo, and it appears that his Radiator Springs logo actually has a Race and Rescue logo instead, which is pretty cool. He has this interesting yellow tint on his wheels, which actually isn't on his color changer or its artwork. Is this a thing uniquely done for the Mini? I would assume it's something from the 155 scale one. It's just missing on the color changer and the artwork. I'm not sure. It does look pretty cool though. We have the word rescue written there, as well as these yellow stripes and a bit of a white section on the back there. I really wish that these connected, but actually that is how it's supposed to look. For whatever reason, all versions of this Sheriff don't have those white parts connect, and I don't know, it kind of bothers me. I don't really like how that looks, but that's not a problem with the Mini. That's a problem with the graphic design for Sheriff as a whole. I do like how the back looks though, with Race and Rescue written in black with the white there on Sheriff's trunk. His 001 license plate. There is a look at his other side. And finally, there is a look at the base. A perfectly suitable Sheriff variant. I kind of wish they did a bit more for Sheriff for Race and Rescue, since, again, he is one of the rescue vehicles in Radiator Springs, right? He's the police car, but again, that's not a problem with the Mini. That is a problem with the regular item. Not doing all too much, but I do think it works for Sheriff. It would have been nice if he had like an accessory like Sarge had and Sally and Luigi had, but if he had an accessory, I guess the Mini wouldn't have included it because they aren't doing that with them. Guys, I'm sorry this review has been so negative. I think as a 3-pack, this is perfectly fine. Easily the biggest issue here is the lack of a new chick, but it is still a Mini Racers 3-pack where 2 of the 3 items are new, and that's really a rarity in the line. That's something that barely ever happens. McQueen looks great despite not having the new mold. Sheriff looks perfectly good. I'm sure some people will like him more than I do. And Chick Hicks is a regular old Chick Hicks. I'm just pretty disappointed to see what's been going on with the Minis this year, and hopefully that gets turned around. If not, unfortunately, I think the Mini Racers may be out of here pretty soon. But hey, if they are, then they had a pretty good run. I do just hope that they give us Boost before they end. If the Mini Racers line ends with DJ, Wingo, Snot Rod, and no Boost, I might go crazy. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these guys in the comments, and also what you think about my theory. Do you think that the Mini Racers might be on the way out? What do you think? I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.